Hey CCU, my name is Marysa Sundberg. For those of you who don't know me, I am an elementary education major, which means I'm in the midst of my student teaching right now. I'm so excited to share with you today what the Lord has been teaching me during my time here at CCU. The two most important things I think that I've learned is the importance of being vulnerable in your relationships and stepping out in faith and in obedience to what the Lord has for you, even when it's not what you expected and when His plans are completely different than your own. To tell you a little bit about myself and my time here, these years have been a roller coaster. To be honest, I was one of those girls who came in freshman year thinking I was going to meet a guy, fall in love, get married, and drop out after freshman year. My mom got married after her freshman year, and my parents started having kids right away. I wanted to be a mom since I was 2, so I just assumed that was what I was going to do, that I was going to follow in my mom's footsteps. At the end of freshman year, I still had not met my husband, so I quickly realized that the Lord had other plans for me. Sophomore year was one of the hardest years for me. I experienced heartache in the first semester and the second semester as a way to cope, and because of the pressure I put on myself. I began working 40 hours a week on top of my 15-hour class load. Junior year was again a hard year. I experienced a lot of loneliness and what felt like rejection. I struggled to know my place at CCU and with my friends, and because I'd been hurt in the past, I was afraid of being vulnerable. My freshman year, roommates and I made a pact our freshman year, soon after this journey began, that we'd be open and honest with each other. They're still my best friends today, so you can imagine that through the years that has been tested. It's been a lot easier to just hide things and avoid conversation, but I've realized that vulnerability brings so much good. When I'm open about my weaknesses and my imperfections, my hurts and my feelings to people, I feel a greater source of love from them. It opens my eyes to the love that Christ has for me, because He loves me despite my weaknesses and imperfections, and when I see people loving me after knowing those also, I just see a greater kind of love that I couldn't have imagined in another way. When senior year started, I was excited. This was the year that I would spend the most time in the classroom, and I'd really get to find out for sure if teaching was my passion. But this year also held a lot of nerves. I didn't know what to expect, and there was a lot of unknowns. But despite everything, I wanted to soak it all up. This was my last chance to experience CCU, but I had a lot going on. Circling back to my thought I wanted to get married right away in college, that has not happened, and even though my desire has not changed, the Lord has changed His plan for me from what I thought it was. And I'm so glad He did. I'm so glad He redirected me, because looking at my life now, there's so much more that I can do with my life because of where God has me now. This next year, I've committed to teaching in China and for the whole year, and I would not be able to do that as easily if I was married now. God has many plans, so much bigger plans for us that we don't even know, and just walking in faith and obedience in where He leads, what He has for us, is just so impactful. Graduating college is one of the most uncertain times in a person's life anyway, despite what is going on right now. But I know that God has a plan, because He's been faithful time and time again in my life and in everyone's. He's taught me to be vulnerable with people, so that even now when we're having to meet virtually, I know that I can be open and honest with people because I've been practicing. I also know that He's been preparing me to trust Him and building my faith in Him by His faithfulness time and time again. So now, after I committed to teaching a year in China, that takes a lot of trust to begin with. And then soon after I committed, this pandemic happened. So now is a time when I need to trust the Lord more than ever. But I'm confident that He has a plan for me, and He's been preparing me for what He has now. And I'm so excited to walk in what He has for me, and even though it's so much unexpected, I'm so glad that I'm walking with such a gentle Father, that He will be with me all the way, and He is directing me, and He knows the outcome. So I just want to encourage you all to be vulnerable in your relationships. There's so much joy, so many benefits in that. And also walk in obedience. God has it all figured out, and all you need to do is step out in faith.